G'day, how you doing? Adam here from Poseidon Racing with another Zed Run update. Yes, we are back to Zed Run videos today. Now, I know you at home love a clickbait title, so I'm really trying to ramp that up at the moment. Most clickbaity titles I can possibly get. Let's do it! Does fatigue kind of suck? Was that the title? Something along those lines. And look, I'm hearing a lot of complaints about fatigue, and I want to say, like, have some patience. There's some other things coming that will make sense. Well, at least I think there's some other things in the pipeline that will start to make the overall vision make more sense, or at least I got my fingers crossed that that is the case. I believe and trust that that is the case, and have confidence in Zed getting it right eventually. Now, back onto fatigue. There's a couple of complaints that I'm hearing. Number one, not enough clarity around exactly what is happening with fatigue, what matters, what doesn't matter. Maybe we need to figure that out, but I would agree we would like some little breadcrumbs. I would love some breadcrumbs as to, you know, what kind of percentage deduction are we looking at when a horse is fatigued, say 95, you know, just off 5%, down at 95% energy level, or 90%, or, you know, does that 5% represent just a small fraction, 5% downgrade? Is a good horse still going to win? Okay, so a little bit of information on that from Zed would be ideal. I would agree with that. Secondly, is that a lot of people are saying, and this kind of ties back into the first point to a degree, a lot of people are having issues with the fact that you can only run, particularly the smaller stables with one horse or maybe two horses, that they can now only run 1 or 2 races every 24 hours. And I 100% agree with this. 100%. In fact, when Zed put out their survey on what fatigue should look like and what is important, my number one point, my big point where they said, is there anything else you're concerned about? My big number one point was that you absolutely need to allow smaller stables with 1 or 2 horses to have a good session, a good racing session of 5, 6 races per horse before that horse gets fatigued. Now, the bigger complaint, and why this was brought in, because there were horses, some of the big name horses that were running 50, 100 races a day, unfatigued, okay? And we needed to curb that, absolutely, but have we gone too far the other way? Well, we need some clarity to sort of understand whether we've gone too far the other way, because now there's a lot of doubt and a lot of smaller stables that have gone from having a good time and racing, you know, 5, 10, 12 races a day with 1 or 2 horses, which I think is, you know, optimal in my opinion. If you've got the time and want to sit down for 2 hours and have a good session of Zed Run, that's what you should be able to do, regardless if you've got 1 horse or 100 horses. All right, you should be able to sit down and have 2 hours, 10, 12 races, enjoy Zed Run, go off, you know, go to bed, do your whole day job again, and come back and relax with a cup of tea or a beer and have another 10 races the next day. You know what I mean? Like this whole... Now, we don't know this for sure because we don't have enough clarity around fatigue, in my opinion, but can a 1-horse stable only really optimally run 1 or 2 races a day? In my opinion, that's not really ideal. Now, you might suggest, oh, well, I mean, for me as a breeding stable, that's great because everyone's going to need more horses. That means more demand to really get a good session. But in my opinion, if you've got 1 horse, you should be able to have a good 2-hour race session. And at the moment, I'm not sure if that's possible. I'm not sure if once you get beyond 1 or 2 races, if racing any more than that starts becoming just throwing money away. And that's, you know, that's not much fun for everyone, or anyone. So we need to, hopefully, in the coming days, we're going to start to get some clarity about what you can and can't do optimally with your horse, whether or not, yes, you can only run 1 or 2 races every 24 hours, or whether or not you can do X, Y, Z. I mean, the other thing I would love to see, another possibility is more along the play to earn model would be, okay, yes, you can run 1 or 2 races at the optimum level for your horse, but then you could come and play a little mini game you know, a little mini game, maybe some free, you know, some free games that could either generate some sort of coin or income, or maybe you could generate some of that in-game coin, and you could use that free in-game coin that you've gotten from playing these mini games or free games or whatnot to then offset the fatigue. Okay. Now I know, don't jump on my back. Don't jump on my back. I have spoken about the ability to have some sort of in-game feed for your horses to bring the fatigue level back up. Now we don't want to pay for that. I agree. We definitely don't want that to be a pay-to-play type scenario. All right, I don't think that's a good idea. However, a play-to-earn scenario where you do certain tasks, achieve certain goals, and get some sort of in-game coin. We've spoken about the glue coin. The community wants glue coin. Let's bring glue coin in as a thing. Some in-game tasks, in-game challenges, and they would all be all free, and you earn some glue coin. We could also look at, and I think this is really, really important in the future, some kind of burning mechanism for those really bad horses that you can burn them for some in-game coin, which you could then spend on your other horses. You could spend it on merchandise. You could spend it on maybe purchasing other horses. You could spend it on skins. You could spend it on raising the fatigue level on certain horses. Now, I know that's not perfect. That's just off the top of my head as I'm sort of rambling along. But in general, let's wrap it up. I think fatigue is a good thing. I don't know whether the formula is perfect at the moment, and I think what needs to be adjusted, if it doesn't already suit, is to allow one horse stables to have a good hour and a half, 2 hour session of Zed Run, whether that be 5 or 6, 10 races, 12 races, before that horse really starts to dive. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think it's a big issue with the volume of races going on to have a horse run 5, 10 or so races before that fatigue really starts to kick or bite. I do think it was a problem previously when horses were running hundreds of races in a row. But with the volume of racing going on, if you've got the big guns only racing 10 or 12 races, then they're going to be spread out and you're not really going to see them or be affected by them anyway. So, you know, give us if it's not already, let's have some clarity about what we can and can't do. That would be ideal. And number two, if it's not possible to run a good session of Zed Run, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and race, you know, I think it's got to be at least 10 races. That's my opinion. Now, we don't want to start complaining about everything on this channel. So in the next coming days, we're going to have a deep dive at those stats that we looked at a few days ago. I've got that Excel sheet full of really great stats that are going to tell us which horses are performing, which bred horses are performing better than other bred horses, okay? Which are the horses that are mostly breeding donkeys, and which are the style horses that are mostly breeding winners. We will have a look a little bit deeper into that info that I shared the other day. All right, thanks again for watching along. See you next time. Bye for now. What's doing with that hair? I feel like I need to explain that at the end of the video. I've been down the beach having a little bit of a swim with my boy. Looks horrendous, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks again. Bye for now.